Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene, and I'm worried that I'm going to have thread all over this shirt, but you can only see from here up. This is like my favorite house shirt, and I'm home a lot. So I just want to chat with you guys, and I'm going to try to just stick to one little topic. I have so many things that I want to talk about, but then it becomes overwhelming just thinking of turning on the camera because it's like I want to get it all out, but I can't do that in one video. Anyway, I'm just going to talk to you guys about how I feel. And it was a weird year, to say the least. It was very stressful. And I was down in the dumps, and I've figured out why. And I think it's all just normal. It's what I needed to go through. And I understand it better now, and I'm not like so much having my own little pity party because I kind of was going through that. So let's just start from the beginning. I did a video November of 2022. My mother died in 2022 in March. In November, I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Just watching myself for a little bit made me start to cry. Okay, this is a video. I'm pretty sure this is the one. I mean, there was a lot of them, but I think this is the one I was thinking of. I'm wearing the same shirt in that video 3 years ago. Okay, it was, I'll link to it down below. It's called Going Through a Very Rough Time. November 4, 2022. That's probably the one, because I knew it was in November and 2022. It's the time that I decided I needed to change my life. And I don't know exactly what I said there, but I do still remember how I felt. That I knew that, my mother had just died in March. It was November. I was just trying to come to terms with, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Because it's all I knew, and especially for the 20 years up to her death, that's all I knew was taking care of her. So I knew that I had that job, and at least that was something that, whether I liked it or not, it's what I was doing. And then, thank goodness, I moved before she died. I'm so glad I got her here. I would have liked her to be able to die in her own home. But if that would have happened in Maine, I can't even imagine what I would have gone through after that trying to get here, because I would have had the house to clear out. And I didn't have any of that. When she died, she left my apartment, and I was like, wow, I have a whole new life here. But like I said, it was weird, but I understood that. I mean, she had died. And I'm sure I worked and did things, but then I decided that I wanted to have a life. I knew I wanted to meet someone, and Derek was in a band. I had gone out a couple of times to see his band after my mother died, and then I saw like New Year's Eve, and I was going out New Year's Eve, and that was such a big deal to me. And then 2023 happened, and that's when I went fucking wild. I dabbled with meeting men, and I was going out all I could, dancing, having the time of my life. But even more important than just the dancing, my son, a musician, was, introducing me to everyone. I never felt so alive. I got to meet the bands. I got to be friends with the bands, the band wives. Some of the wives I became friends with first, and then I got to know the bands. And I got to the point where I was able to go out alone. I would try to find somebody, I was getting numbers from different friends and saying, is anybody going out tonight? Or I could just Facebook and ask them and say, I still wanted to be with somebody just because I was shy or nervous or worried, but, and also wanted somebody that I could possibly dance with. But I just was all out. I was enjoying buying clothes. I was enjoying meeting people. I got to the point where I would just go out alone. I didn't care where I was going to sit, who I was going to sit with, whether there was people there or not. If I walked in and it was dead, I'd have a water and then I'd go home and just be glad that I attempted and went out. So I was doing this and having the time of my life all of 2023 and 2024 for the most part. In between that time, I met Joe. That was like a little bit of an off and on. But, especially at the beginning, he would go out with me and I didn't realize, what a sacrifice in the way that was for him, because he wasn't one to go out all the time. It didn't bother him that, he was in a bar with drinking. Never bothered him, doesn't bother me. And then, after a while I started realizing, he doesn't really love this. So we started, like coming home after the second set, and things like that. And then we started missing some weekends. And I was really liking my time here with him, watching TV, things like that. Just being home, not having to get ready, because I loved being with him, and I do love being with him. But then it changed when I was going out. There was a period that there wasn't as many people showing up at the clubs. And then it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't as fun for me. And so we stopped going more, and more often we just stayed home. And then once I was getting used to that, it was really hard to want to go back out. So like this year, I was really depressed. I'm like, what happened? I used to have the time of my life, and now I don't go out anymore, but yet I didn't really want to go out. It was just weird, and I couldn't blame him. I couldn't blame Joe, because I was really the one that didn't feel it. If I wanted to go out, I would have gone out, whether he wanted to go out or not. And, I felt like I'm going to lose all my friends because I'm not, going out anymore. And then we started going out, not all the time, but we're trying to go out at least every other weekend. But I thought, maybe we can ease our way into once a week, on the weekend night, if it's something that we really like to listen to, that I know I can dance to, if we have friends going. So we went out a few times, and I was glad that we went out, but I wasn't feeling it until last night. Last night was just, everything fell into place. It was a band, Area 51, that I love, that my girlfriends love, that Joe loves, at a place that we like. Good dance floor, good enough. And the little group that we have, all were able to go. So there was me, Cherie, Jeannie, Mary, and even Cheryl. Now, Cheryl is a girl I danced with. See, I don't want to get into different stories. Thought I knew her. She knew me, and couldn't remember how we met. I'm going to tell you. And then there was a daytime function at Neil's, and music, different bands. And I thought, well, this is nice. This is nice, but I'm not going to dance. Nobody's going to get up and dance. And this woman gets up. First song, broad daylight, first song, and dances like a wild woman on the dance floor. I couldn't get to that dance floor fast enough, and danced with her the entire day. I said, look, we got to keep in touch, because if you're going out, let me know. I will come out. And she's like, oh my God. So we did that, and then I ended up finding out I had met her through Cherie. But she doesn't go out as often. So she was there last night, so there's 5 of us. And, I was telling Joe on the way there, I'm like, oh, I hope we dance. I knew we would dance a lot, but I was like, I knew we were only staying for 2 sets, and I was like, God, it would be so cool if we could get up and dance on the first song, but not everybody, always feels like doing that. First fucking song comes on, and all 5 of us were on that dance floor. Nothing felt better than that. And then I stopped to think and said, I have actually made friends. You know, I made friends that I'm still friends with. And we're almost all of us in our 60s. There's a couple not. And I thought how cool it is that I did put myself out there to at least have the chance to have lasting fun for as long as I want to. And then I thought how normal it was that all that excitement was because it was all so new, and I was like just coming out of a cave and just having, I can't tell you enough how much I enjoyed those 2 years of learning all kinds of things, meeting guys, having girlfriends to dance with, the music, oh my goodness, and the freedom to do all this. Loved it. And then it's not that everything fell apart. It's that it just normally wore off. I had met everybody I was going to meet. I was dancing with everybody I could dance with, you know. And it just started to wear off naturally. And I did not know how to handle that. And I know that's exactly what it is, because the feeling wasn't gone last night. It was just back, because I do love all of that. It just means that I wasn't going to be able to have it every minute of every day. I was obsessed. I was going out during the week, any club that might have had karaoke or what. I just was out until I met Joe. Then I started settling down. Last night was just magical because we were all there, we were having fun, and of course because we started dancing, other people got up and danced, and it was just a wild and crazy dancing night. I survived the whole first set, dance, and then I was tired. I had gotten up at 5 in the morning, and we were all started saying, oh, my back hurts, my knee hurts. Me, it's still just this one knee that bothers me. I still danced the whole second set, maybe like 1 or 2 songs that were slow or something. I skipped those. And that's when I would sit down and say, I'm still very grateful for all of this. It doesn't have to stay the same all the time. And something else will shift. There'll be something else that will be really super cool and awesome. And then that too will fade. I think it's just, it's life. It's like that. And so I just wanted to share that if you're ever down and out, it might be normal. Don't have a pity party. You can have a pity party. I would feel better after my pity party and a lot of crying and just moping around. And, then you're like, okay, wait, I got to get out of this. And then you pick yourself back up. There's nothing wrong with that. I think all feelings are normal and natural. And I'm just glad that I figured it out. It was just a normal thing. It's just that I was higher than a kite there, and then the kite just started to come down like a kite would, So I'm in a good place today, and I feel like I now have the balance I need to go out if I want, not go out if I don't want. But I do understand the importance of being with my girlfriends. It's very important to do that, and to dance, to have the music. I just, I love the music so much. So I don't know if this made sense to anyone. I always hope that things that I talk about like that help somebody. And I know that Joe noticed too. He noticed too that this is what I needed. And Joe's good in that way, and he wants me to be happy, and he was even starting to say, you need to just go out, and it's like, I don't want to, I just don't feel like it, I don't even have a car right now. I was just letting myself get back into the hole that I was used to, because even though I had a car when I was taking care of my mother, I wasn't really free, and it's like I wanted to be not free there for a while, because I had that so much of my life that that's what felt comfortable, and I started thinking, this is all I'm good for. That was just a fluke that I had all that fun. No, it wasn't a fluke, because I know that for a fact, because I put myself out there. I was very lucky that I had a son to help get me there. I probably would have never gone out to bars without having somebody, a non-drinking person, my son, taking me and leading me, holding my hand, not literally, but bringing me places, introducing me, and it was magical, and I'm always going to be grateful for those 2 years, even with the heartbreaks and, the things. It was all, I was so alive. And it's okay to come down from that and know that it's there. It's there. Now, I'm going to try to go out this coming weekend. And if not, if nothing falls into place, then I'll try the next, because I need to keep going out. And Joe, I know he was like, he felt so much better knowing that I was having fun. Oh my God. It was a good night. It really was. Good music, good people. I'm just glad that I can still have that. There wasn't anything wrong with me. I just was going through changes in life. And I'm going to continue to have fun going out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, for listening to this. I hope it helped somebody. You know what I'm thinking of doing if you made it this long? I've been thinking of putting comments on a video now and then. And if I get tired of the comments on that video, or if too many people are being assholes, I can turn the comments off. Because I do miss that chit-chat. I have it with my patrons. So at least I have that. And I do reply back and forth. Look, I'm not like one of the, what is it called? The relationship you have with people that you don't know. There's a word for it, and I know I've talked about it before, that we can tend to think these people are our friends, and it's not that way really. Everybody is a stranger to each other online, and I've got some online girlfriends, stranger things I'd like to talk about. It was 2 very unusual relationships. Parasocial, I think. Hang on. And that's it. Parasocial relationship is a one-sided, one-way relationship where a person develops a sense of intimacy or connection with a media figure. I'm a media figure, believe it or not. Such as a celebrity. I'm definitely a celebrity. Or fictional character. That's Joe. I'm just kidding. Even though the other person is completely unaware of them. That can go both ways. I can get somewhat attached to somebody who I'm chatting with, and I learned my lesson on that. Not like they scammed me or anything, but I just, you eventually see true colors, even though you're online. Completely forgot my train of thought now. I don't know what I was saying because I talked for too long. I should have just said bye. Oh yeah, it was about comments. That's what I was on the topic of. I'm going to leave the comments on for this video just to see what happens, so I can chat a little bit back and forth. Or what I like is if people tell me that I helped them in any way. I absolutely love that. Or if I made them laugh. To me, there's nothing better than laughter. But it is good also to have somebody say, wow, I never thought of it that way, or yeah, you helped me now. Now I understand that I probably am going through something like that, or I went through something like that, and I felt like shit, and now I don't, I'm not going to feel so bad. So yes, comments are going to be on this video. Isn't that cool? I've been thinking about it, and I'll do that from time to time. I have to leave the comments on the next video when I talk about Joe's dreams, because I want to know if that makes you guys laugh. I fucking die. I die when I read those things. I laugh all by myself about it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Hey, leave a comment, read the comments, whatever, and I'll be back with more soon. Oh, and if they're off, that's because I can turn them off at any time, and I will if I feel like it.